Hello and welcome to Plugin Along, a stream dedicated to LOTRO plugins. Last time on Plugin Along, we continued working on TitanBar by removing the wallet basic Titan control from that list of currencies that we have hard-coded in the plugin. And that was enough progress to let us completely get rid of the CurrencyNameToKey lookup table, and deleting things is my favorite thing to do with plugins because we've made it unnecessary for that code to exist anymore. Today we're going to continue with our goal of eliminating TitanBar's hard-coded list of currencies. During the last stream, we documented our next step of moving the currencies table into the settings object, and we're going to walk through those steps today. As always, feel free to jump in and chat with your thoughts and questions. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, also, I don't need to have a browser showing the Twitch stream anymore. Awesome. Okay. And hello in chat. Nottscomb says, hey, hello. X in chat says, recently I upgraded my monitor. Okay, so you got a 21:9 monitor, now the UI is small, you did lower the resolution, and use lossless scaling to upscale. Nice, okay. So that's a fun solution. I know there's lots of people who have monitors that are 2K, 4K style resolutions that struggle with some of the UI elements looking really small on that scale of a resolution. So I'm glad that there are some workarounds while SSG is working on bringing 4K support to the client. Okay. So, what is TitanBar? Just in case you've forgotten, TitanBar is a bar that you can attach information to. So, for instance, TitanBar has the ability to attach information from your wallet, what time of day it is, little bits and pieces of information. I find it incredibly useful to know what time it is, both on the server time and also local time, because I'm not in the Eastern time zone of the US. It's a very useful control for me. I like having just a little number up in that bar. I can see how much space I have left in my inventory, things like that. And one of the big things is being able to track things that are in your wallet, usually currencies like festival tokens. And instead of having to come into your wallet here, you can just pin specific currencies to your TitanBar. However, TitanBar currently, as it is available on LOTROinterface.com, TitanBar has a fixed list of currencies, and it's kind of a pain to add new ones. And so what we're trying to do is to make it so that you don't have to ever add new ones. But if you do add them as a developer, you can provide better categorization of where they go in the wallet, but you just don't have to do it. We'll be forward and backwards compatible with currencies. So that's the goal, and that's what we've been working on, which is why this is like number 13 or something of this series, because it's a big thing to do. There's a lot going on here. I've got something in my eye. Okay. Cool. So that's what we're doing. That's where we're at. So let's go ahead and look at our to-do list, where we're documenting last time what is up. And what we've got is, a note to ourselves, next time we're going to convert the currencies table into a settings structure. And we'll have maybe some default values if it's not in the settings. But the goal of this is that we want to have this represent the currencies that are currently attached to the bar. And maybe by default that is nothing. In fact, what is the default with TitanBar? Let's find out. So we're going to go ahead and unload TitanBar, and then we're going to go into our documents, Lord of the Rings Online, plugin data. And we're just going to delete that. And as a developer, I feel comfortable doing this because I have a backup of all my real plugin data, but do be careful not to delete plugin data that you don't have a backup of. You're not going to get it back if you don't. So let's go ahead and come back into the game, and we're going to go ahead and load TitanBar. And if you don't have a save file, you get a default save file. What do we see? We see money. Money is on there. Awesome. That's a good default. Wallet itself is not on there, which I think is interesting. We also see equipment, durability, player location, and time are all on there. Awesome. Those are kind of decent defaults. I don't use some of those things, so I have a saved profile that I use for all of mine. But money is there, and nothing else is. So we can use that currency structures to track what is on the bar, and if that structure does not exist in someone's save file, we can create it and putting the entry money in there, which is kind of a special entry. It's the only one that behaves radically different from everything else. Okay, we're going to go ahead and unload TitanBar because I do want to put those back. Now, let's see. I have saved off some various versions of the plugin data. And we're going to go to every currency on bar, but it's not on top of the radar. There we go. And we'll put that back. And that just gives us a way to test what's going on here. So, it's actually sometimes useful to have a few things not on the bar, but in tooltip. One of these days I'll remember to actually save those changes back. Okay, so that's sort of where we're at. And as always, if I didn't say it, feel free to pop questions into chat. They don't have to be about plugins or coding specifically. They can be about Lord of the Rings in general or whatever's on your mind. Maybe it's on topic. But we're going to go ahead and dig into this. So the currencies table, where can we find this? Oh, it's here in settings. So this is the table here. If we do a find all references, we can see that this is used in a number of places. It might be worth asking, are all those places necessary? As we're processing this update, we should be thinking to ourselves, should this care which currencies are pinned on the bar? The answer is probably yes, but we'll be thinking about that because this used to be, this is the list of all the currencies, and we're going to be updating that meaning to be, this is the list of all the currencies that are currently on the bar, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so these are all the references that we're looking at, and hopefully those correspond to what we've documented here. Okay, so first of all, we could look and see what we have. We have a table that has a combination of strings and integers. And that always makes me a little because it feels nicer. I don't know if Lua actually takes advantage of this, but it feels nicer if the table, all the contents of it are the same thing. Now, we could make a meta entry that means money, so that we don't have to look for money or one of these other things. I don't know if that's useful, but it makes me think, let's find, so many places where we're looking for money. At the very least, I feel like that should be a variable somewhere. Is it a useful thing to do right now? I'm going to say yes. So the first thing we should do is do a direct substitution where we have a variable called money that we're going to use in place of the quoted string money. And why we're doing that is so once everything is consistently looking at the same value, we can then change this in one place. Maybe we make a fake entry. Maybe we call it 01, right? Or something. But first things first, let's go ahead and find all those places where it is money with quotes and just replace it with money without quotes. They're going to be the same thing. So to make this a little faster, I'm double clicking on the entries in the search bar, and then that will automatically move the keyboard focus over to the editor window. And then I'm just placing, selecting Control V to paste in that change. So it allows me to review each of these changes. It's a little less speedy than a replace all, but it does allow me to look and say, do I feel like these changes are correct? And sometimes I accidentally click the wrong thing and we open it up in a split tab like that. And split tabs are great when you want them, but I do not. Florian says 3 eyes are better than 1. Did I type 3 eyes somewhere, or? I too, and the computers. Oh, we can't do that one. That one will just be sad if we do that. Can't do that one either, but we can do that one. So we've left quoted money in 2 places. One, what is the localized string that represents money for English? Cool, quoted money, that's great. And what is the value currently assigned to the variable money that hopefully everything is now using? So we're going to go ahead and save all. I should have mentioned before we got started, we did have a clean working directory, so all of these changes are just money. So we're going to go ahead and reload TitanBar and get an error message because we messed something up. And by we, of course, I mean me. Let's come on in and see what's up with that. Settings table, line 12. Of course, our settings default here is getting set before this variable. Now, the simplest thing would be moving these variables up. These variables are destined to not exist very much longer. Currency variables most need to do. Most of these should be deleted, question mark? Okay. Let's give it a try now. Fantastic. So, the problem, money was being declared after I wanted to use it here. I should have noticed that because we looped around to earlier in the settings file, and that should have been a key to me that could have been a problem. Ideally, like I mentioned, we're not going to have most of these for very much longer. A few of them are useful for encoding exceptions, things that need to be larger or smaller than normal. But for instance, if I search for Embers of Enchantment, find all references here. We have some localization stuff. We have it in this menu item that I really want to get rid of. And in that currencies list, yeah, we're going to get rid of it. Currencies not used in Monster Play. I'm really looking forward to getting rid of that as well. Actually, I don't do much in the way of Monster Play, but I'm curious if you are playing as a monster, if anyone in chat knows, if you go to your wallet, do you see all of your Free People's stuff as well, or do you only see a Monster Player version of what can go into your wallet, with the exception of perhaps mithril coins, Embers of Enchantment, Figments, maybe some of those things. But do you see your fantastic flounders, or do you only see things that can be acquired and spent during Monster Play? Okay. So yeah, I'm looking to get rid of most of these variables anyway. Tillerian says need to check. Yeah, that's my problem. Is I don't know, but there's definitely code in TitanBar that cares about what currencies we offer to be tracked on TitanBar, depending on whether you are free peoples or monster play. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and reload one more time, just to be sure. Where is money? Money's over here. Can I drag it around? I can. And can I put it as a tooltip? Yep, everything's great. So basic functionality of money seems to be working fine. I guess I did not try not showing it. Great. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and commit our changes so far, because there were a lot of different little ones and we don't want to get those confused with anything else we do today. So changed quoted string money to use global variable money. Cool. And then we're just going to go through all of our changes here and make sure that we didn't do anything else besides what we just said we're doing. Okay. Money, 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 money. Sounds great. Money, 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 money. Cool. Money, 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 money. Awesome. Then wonders if account-wide currency shows up. Yeah, I could see that. I am on Treebeard, so there's no monster play PVMP on here. Tillerian says is going to check it after they clear this instance. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I would have to switch to a different server to have a chance of looking at that. I have some monster play characters over on Brandywine, maybe from 15, 17 years ago, something like that. Couldn't tell you what they're up to or how to play them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close all these extra windows that we've opened up. So now that we've done that, we could experiment with having an artificial value for money. But there's all these checks for money being special, so I'm not too worried about that right now. What instead we want to do is we want to go back to go to references. Nope. Find all references. And we want to start working our way through these things that are referencing currencies and changing them to referencing something in settings. So our default setting and now as we get defaults, okay. Where do we populate our settings? Oops. I can never remember this in TitanBar, so what I want to do is come on in to main and see if we see an answer here. It's either in settings or in global. If there is a global. Let's look for load settings. There we go. Okay. It's a little warm in here today, so I have a floor fan that's pointed in my direction, and I'm hoping it doesn't come across on the microphone, but if it does, let me know. I'll see what I can do about that. Okay, load settings. We're loading, this is the character specific stuff, and again, we're looking at stringified values that are saved into a localized settings file, which is a problem for a future day, and that comes into the settings table. And then if what is loaded is nil, then we go ahead and populate it as an empty table, and then we start the process of bootstrapping these values. So if settings.TitanBar is nil, then we go ahead and load that. If the locale for TitanBar is nil. Then we go ahead and set it to the client's locale. So it'll match how you logged in. But you can change the user interface of TitanBar to be a different language than your client language. So TitanBar could be German and your client language could be English or some other combination. And then we go ahead and load that. And then we import the appropriate locale because that's going to be necessary, and update character settings if necessary. Cool. Which updates us from various versions. Is this a version thing? No? We just need to make sure it's there. What's this going to look like? Settings, if settings dot, what did we call this thing? Currencies. Currencies equals nil, then settings dot currencies equals empty table end. So that's the starting. But it's not just an empty table. We actually want it to be a table with a single entry of money. Let's see what that looks like. So if we load this and then we unload it, that will have put that extra entry in here. So we're going to come on into Affidil. Currencies. Now this is going to be number indexed. Is that a way we want it to be? Well, how does currencies currently work? Currencies equals, this is numerically indexed. Is that meaningful? Well, every way we are iterating through currencies, all the uses of this is using I pairs. And you can do that because these are all numerically indexed, so you're going to get a consistent ordering. But I don't think that matters. I don't think we need a consistent ordering. And more importantly, that index does nothing for us. So if we were content to switch that to pairs and modify the code a little bit, we could have an easier lookup to see if a currency is in the bar. It's just that entry in this table is true. And an easier way to remove it from this by setting that entry to nil. Okay. Do we have a clean working directory? We don't, but that's okay. The first thought is that if that is okay to do with the new thing, it should be okay to do with the current thing. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and update this. So we're going to go ahead and open up a new buffer here in Sublime Text, and we're going to go ahead and just say equals true, but we do need to go ahead and tablify those entries. Okay, so that would actually look like this. The entry of money equals true. The entry of destiny points equals true. The entry of shards equals true, and so on. I've fallen into a trap, haven't I? Because we're going to start using this currencies as a list of currencies that are on the bar. But what it really is a list of currencies that, I don't know. What I'm concerned about is the currencies that are in the tooltip on the wallet icon. what are we doing? I had some notes here. Okay, in background, we're going to iterate through all of the currencies and set a thing. And that's the setting to all. We are probably going to have to add some code that records the last thing where we set to all, and then on subsequent load-ins, those get that value. I just don't know how we clear that status yet. Okay. For these things, we have the where. If the where is not 3, then we're going to be importing a control. Yeah, and for that, currencies needs to be a list of currencies that are in use but are not necessarily on the bar. Is that something we can do for the next one? Yeah. Okay. So this one we're paying attention to show hide. And only if it's visible. I think. Let's scroll down a sec. Okay. This one, if show of that, then set the background color. Okay. Here, if show of that. Okay. For this one, again, this is an apply to all, and if we're contemplating having arbitrary controls that we don't even know about yet, then we're going to have to account for that. Let's go ahead and okay. Apply to all. Since we are adding the capability for arbitrary currencies to become controls, we either need to inflate the save file to add anything in your wallet, or save off the last apply to all and keep using it for newly added currencies. Or maybe something else. Or we accept that apply to all only affects currently loaded currencies, and we ignore anything else. That might be reasonable. That might be a break in behavior, but not necessarily behavior that anyone cares about. Okay, where were we? Okay, that was not a show all. This one, the IsCurrency table, I want to get rid of anyway, and we can do that if we can just check to see is the intro. Hang on, what do we use in IsCurrency for? How do I see all of my windows here? what is DI? Is that durability? Okay. Making sure that was fine. Okay, so if it's a currency of the thing that we're showing a tooltip for, okay. If we're adjusting the icon of something that's a currency, I think what we're really asking for is, yeah, is the thing in currency. That is probably replaceable. Import control. Well, if we're doing money, LOTRO points, okay. What we need is to make sure that import control has a way to know that we have parameterized this. I'm confused how this works. If the thing that we're trying to import is on the tooltip. Let's make one of those. Interesting. Oops. Have to think about that some more. Anyway, okay, so in import control, we'll need a way to say, should this be handled specifically? But I think it's safe to hoist out if value is money, if value is LOTRO points. That's all fine. Those are going to be hoisted out. The real question is this thing something that is currency-like? And for that value, we might be able to do a 2-number check on it. Well, you know, what's our working directory like? Okay, let's go ahead and pull out these things. Stop pressing that key, please. Okay, just out of curiosity. Nope, something broke. Failed to load the background image. Fair enough. This is line 100. Failed to load the background image of key. Yeah, that would be fair because we're trying to do money. Money needs to be handled first. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is see what the type of value is, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be string across the board. No, it is a number. So if type is a number, then we can key off of that. And instead of is currency a value, we can go ahead and say is if type of value equals number, then currency specific stuff. No. Then we're going to pull that. If the where of that is 1, we're going to make that. And then sure, let's see how that works. Well, that's something. If we eliminate the check for number, does everything come back? It does not. Interesting. What's up with that? We have if value equals money, literal, wallet, everything else. So we should be getting in here. I wonder if our save file got changed sufficiently. Let's go ahead and close where we've got that open. What am I missing? Okay, so we're getting called import control wallet. Cool. Let's go ahead and replace those save files one more time. Okay, we're only seeing import control wallet come in. But that doesn't make any sense. What have we changed? Oh, we changed this and we're not ready for that. Let's go ahead and undo that. That'll do it. That will break everything. Cool. Okay, so coming back down, let's go ahead and strip out these checks. Okay, so we are able to load everything up. Why is Mithracoin not correct? Mithril coins are not grabbing correct value from wallet. Bug. Just a note for later. Okay. So what have we done here? We've changed the import control to go ahead and handle money, LOTRO points, and wallet specially. And then if we get to the very end and it wasn't anything else, we can go ahead and assume it's one of our genericized entries, which right now that's only currencies. We can double check the value is a number. I'm not even sure this is a good check. but it's currently correct. Only currencies are a number, unless it's money, but money was handled separately. And then we execute the same code as expected as normal. So do we have Yule? We do not. We should get Yule in there. And we'll put something else there. Medallions. Okay. So if we go ahead and reload, we still see medallions and Yule tokens in there. Okay. I've convinced myself that we haven't broken anything yet, but the night is still young. So let's come on in here and see about saving this change. Updated import control to skip import CTR to remove need for IsCurrency. Right, that was the whole point of this. Let's see this in a comparison. I don't like that current. That's technically true. Non-currencies, currencies, okay. Let's look at the minor changes. This is all white space at this point. It was just outdented. And then Artillery, awesome. Artillery says it seems account-wide currencies are available on the monster side. You'll send me a screenshot. Awesome, thank you. German client, but you suppose I'll get the point. I will get the point. Thank you for checking into that. But I assume everything else is character specific and therefore monster play specific. Interesting. So that means you should be able to have access to your bottles of ale on monster play as well as your kegs of cram. Your marks of the wild, your tokens of heroism. Fantastic. Oh yeah, Delving Grits, gotta have that. Alright, hopefully Tillerian, you don't mind if I share this on stream. I'm just gonna take a look at that. Tillerian says if you want I can check my main server as well. No, I think that is excellent. Okay, so in the Geldbeutel, we can see because you have something in each of those other categories, you are seeing your account stuff, but then I assume up at the top is just the monster play specific. Yeah, Tillian said there's nothing critical in this screenshot. I was looking, it's like, do you really want people to know that you've got 6,800 ancient script? Probably, it's okay. Yeah, so it would seem like you have monster play specific stuff, and then the rest of this is just there because it's account wide, and by account they mean server wide. So it's server wide stuff, so it's there, but it's not really spendable. I would assume most of this. Awesome. That's really interesting. So I think our current plan to allow you to add whatever you want from your wallet is going to work perfectly with Monster Play, with possibly keying into the fact that it is Monster Play and then just having it by default not show account-wide stuff so that you really just see your Monster Play specific tokens. That could be an interesting improvement for the experience. Cool. Okay. So we have, double check this. So one less IsCurrency. Fantastic. Let's keep going. So that was the whole point, is we're trying to get rid of IsCurrency. there and says money is on there. And there's some stuff from a pre-order if they recall correctly. If there are other currencies specific to monsters, they'll take a look. Awesome, thank you. You need to switch servers. Well, no hurry. I think we have enough information to say that our current way of changing things will not hurt the monster play experience with TitanBar currencies. And that was really the basic thing I wanted. Okay, so we have show tooltip window. Has an IsCurrency, but basically, what are we doing here? All right, what's to show? To show is going to be a thing. So turbine.shell.writeLine. So type of to show is type of to show. Please tell me more about that type. And that's going to activate whenever we do a hover over. We can see number. We can also see we get. I don't like this performance thing. Whenever the mouse moves over it, we update the tooltip, and I'm concerned about how that's done. But that's okay for right now. So we know that's a number. So instead of IsCurrency, get currency tooltip. And so we can say if type of to show equals number, then we could do that same thing that we did before. And we can see the tooltip is still coming on in. I got rid of my right line a little bit too fast, so we just brought it back in. Yep, we can see all of that is happening. Now, I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Great. All of the tooltip still works just fine. This wallet tooltip was never going through there. Okay, and if there was a durability, what else did we see? Bag info, sure. Backpack info. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think we've damaged anything else in the process. How else do we use IsCurrency? Adjust icon. Okay, so we've got ourselves a little output statement there. And what we want to do is double check that we're actually in adjust icon. Okay, unloading that, reloading this. Okay, we are in adjust icon and we're seeing a number for each one of those in here. So let's go ahead and if type of str equals number, we'll do that. Wallet, money, number, and then all the other ones. Cool. Let's give that a shot. Okay, clear, and thank you. On your main server, your monster character only has account-wide stuff except for shield tokens, which are character specific. Awesome. I don't know if monster players in general ever use TitanBar to track currencies, but if they do, I think the system will work for them. Okay. Another IsCurrency. Okay, this is the initialization right here. Possible final one. If it's an IsCurrency from this, then this is unload control. So turbine.shell.writeLine. Let's just say where we are, unload control, and then type of this. Cool. And then we just have to trigger this. So if we go ahead and unload that, unload control, type is a number, and if we unload this control, we don't see that. Unload this control, awesome. So we can see that being handled, and we can see wallet is being handled here as well. So if we go if type of that equals number, then we should still see the same result, which is we can unload these things. Awesome. Now, unfortunately, you can't visually see which of these are loaded or unloaded. And since I want to replace this, I'm not going to bother to do anything about it, but a really simple improvement would have been to have some visual indicator here to show you if we think it's on the bar, in the tooltip, or somewhere else. Okay. So to do IsCurrency replaced with lookup. Well, we did something. I'm hearing Valheim being played on the other computer. Okay, we have this. We're going to go ahead and delete IsCurrency here. And IsCurrency is no longer a thing. Bam. Unload this control, awesome. Tooltips, those are still going great, awesome. So let's look and see what that looks like in here. Removed rest of IsCurrency uses. Okay. Now, I think it will possibly come back to haunt us that we are binding ourselves so strongly that isNumber is a valid way to detect currencies and only currencies. I'm concerned that that's eventually not going to be true. But I think it is true across the board for right now. And so that does make it a future before's problem. And that person doesn't exist yet, so I don't have to feel too badly about this. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Oh, we still have a write line in the unload control. In fact, we didn't save everything here. There we go. Write line's gone. So IsCurrency goes to type. And we can see that same thing. Type of that equals number, type of that equals number. Great. Removing that, yes. And we're not there yet. Okay. Cool. IsCurrency, gone. So what was causing us to look at IsCurrency in settings? That was iterating through currencies, right. And that's where we had this other bit. So we're going to go ahead and continue looking at modifying currencies. Can we do this? Well, that's a great question. Let's go ahead and find all references again and walk our way through it. So currencies is no longer indexed by an auto-incremented integer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But now it's indexed by the currency, and if it is here, then it is a currency that is loaded into either the toolbar or the tooltip. And if it's not here, it is not. Can we make that work? Okay, so for key, comma, in use, go ahead and do these things. Oh, that was super easy. Next one. I actually want to change that to be is used to answer the Boolean question instead of in use. Is used. Is in use. Okay, and then we just use that key. Great. All right, so key is in use in this. And one of the benefits is we were never using that index. So, oh, but all of these need to stop being I pairs. Okay, where were we? Key in use, okay. So index one isn't being used, so we can get rid of that. Is in use in pairs. What's up with that? Show head currency. Really? Key is string. Where does it say that? Show head wallet. So this is only number. Cool. Okay. So let's just do a find all references again. We can see pairs, good. Is it in use? We have an I pairs here. We're going to go do pairs. Key is in use. Great. And coming back into settings here. Index not used. Is in use in pairs currencies. Great. Key is in use in pairs currencies. Key is in use in pairs, and key is in use in pairs. So if we refresh, find all references, we no longer see any I pairs in conjunction with currencies. Awesome. And all of those places, they weren't using the index because it didn't mean anything. Very cool. We can safely stop using that. But that means hopefully this just loads. It did not. But it would have been nice if it did. Okay. Why didn't it? We did not save all for one thing. That's a big deal. Hey, geesh, had me worried. When you change a file, you need to save it. Okay. What does it look like when we make this change? Currencies changes. And then we have that setting up of settings currencies still. We're not worried about it too much, except we know that initialization is now not going to be correct. In fact, we could go ahead and say money equals true. Okay. Looks like a lot of good stuff, and we don't need that anymore. So it says, really? Mine are changed telepathically. I get so used to working with systems like Sublime Text, like Obsidian, where there's an implicit saving going on the covers. Like I can, when I was much younger, I was using something like Notepad, right? And if you close Notepad, you either saved it or whatever you had typed in there was gone. And then you come into more modern systems like Sublime Text, whose default behavior is you don't want to lose stuff if the program closes. You just want it to come right back up. So program crashes just don't matter as much when as soon as you load it back up, everything is exactly where it was when the thing crashed. It's great. And so I get really lazy about that. It's like, saving? I can just have this untitled buffer in place for 6 months and it doesn't matter. And then you get into something like source control where the compiler does actually need you to hit the save button. Fine. Okay, just a quick little test. We can see things are still working. We can use the right button. Everything looks good. So I think we're good to go ahead and say updated currencies to from auto indexed to using the current the key as the using the key. Yeah. Brilliant will not say that they've had the same problems. All right. So we can see is in use. No more iPairs, and we're going to see that a lot. Is in use. Changing to pairs. Is in use to pairs. Is in use to pairs. Oh, that's we'll come back to that. Is in use pairs. Is in use pairs. Great. And stage that. Is in use pairs. Is in use pairs. Is in use pairs. And here's the actual change we did. Cool. Coming back to that. And then here, updated function comments, parameter type, and function comment. Wait. You know you're not supposed to be licking cats up on the counter, finding dirty dishes. Yeah. You better behave or I'll take you back to the vet. Probably not. That was too much hassle. Okay. Very good. What we want to do is we want to come back into our save file and find money. Oh, no, currencies. We want to find currencies, and we want to go ahead and fix that. In fact, we're going to go ahead and delete that. So we're going to go ahead and unload TitanBar. We're going to come in, currencies, and we'll just delete that section because we're going to say it created correctly. So, loading up TitanBar, unloading, and currencies, we can see money equals true. Perfect. That's what we wanted to see. Okay. Can we start doing the thing? Maybe. Find all references. All of the references to currencies have now been updated to how we envision this being in the settings structure, which is to say there's going to be something called currencies, and when there's a thing in there, that thing is in use. And says in the stuff they sent me, they were playing around and wondered, why is Python ignoring the changes I recently made? Yeah, turns out, forgot to save. It's pernicious. Okay. Now, what we don't have is, and what we're going to need is needed on load and unload, need to add, remove entries from settings dot currencies. Sure, let's do that. Save, Control KS, really? I don't know if I'm going to remember that keyboard shortcut. So this currencies, we want to hoist that up, and it might be nice to go ahead and start with a fresh save file. And we're going to go ahead and kill off this currencies table. That might be a bit too far, but what we want to do is come into settings.currency, and we want to use that any place where we were doing currencies. Okay, so when we load a control, we need to go ahead and say settings.currency of value equals true. And when we unload, assuming there is an unload, where do we unload a control? There we go. Unload a control. Handle currencies. We're going to go ahead and say settings.currencies of key. No. What was it? Unload all. Yeah. Key equals nil. Can we do that while we're iterating through it? I'm not actually sure. I think adding an entry to a table is bad, but iterating through like this, Lua set table entry to nil while iterating through, question mark? Behavior of next is undefined if during the traversal you assign any value to a non-existent field in the table. You may, however, modify existing fields. In particular, you may clear existing fields, quotes someone from an uncited reference, but it sounds like the documentation. Lua 5.1 next. Let's come on in here. There we go. So you may modify existing fields and you may clear existing fields. Okay, so it's just creating a new key because under its covers it's probably a hash table, blah, blah, blah. Show hide currency. What's the problem? It's a string. Is it a string? Yeah, that's fair. How do we show, is it a pipe? There we go. String number. Okay, so that was an incomplete change there. All right, so in unload control, we want to go ahead and while we're iterating through currencies, we want to set that thing to nil. I'm concerned that we might regret not doing that last. Okay. Cool. Where else do we unload? That was for unload, apply to all, and then apply to this. We'll go ahead and pop that in there. Okay, so when we load a control, we go ahead and set that to true. When we unload the control, we set that to nil. And that gives us a place, a central place, that allows us to be paying attention to that. Maybe that's good. Let's see if it works at all. Okay, so money is here. That's cool. If we go ahead and start tracking a currency. Oh, neat. Let's come fix that. Okay. The first thing that we see when we come in here is this bar is not being populated correctly. Let's say if it was, though. Awesome. We're seeing problems. Let's come on into the wallet window. A place that I have not spent much time. 229. Right. We no longer are populating default values for every currency in settings. So we need to initialize settings as if we need to initialize settings better. So we need default settings here. Cool. So we want to go ahead and call this when we do the import control. Okay, so we go ahead and initialize the settings. Now, when we unload the control, we're not deleting those settings. This just gives us those default values. So let's come on back in and delete that save file. Come on back in here, and let's start playing around again. We're going to go ahead and remove all of that. Okay. So, combinations, still not populating there, and causing problems. Okay, wallet window, 229. Settings of a thing. We're going to go ahead and add some debug statement here. And we're going to go ahead and be sad about what I just did. Okay, combination. We're going to say on TitanBar, and we're going to say save. And I could not find settings for this. Okay, which means the function that I called where I thought we were going to populate settings of whatever did not work. First of all, let's go take a look at that function, or sorry, that file. Is it correct that that's not in here? It is correct that that's not in here. I can actually see very few of those are in here. That's fine. Okay. Is it reasonable, given that we tried to call initialize control setting? All right, what is the initialize default control? This is settings of key. Okay. And then if has window, that is just money in wallet. And settings equals nil, then settings key equals that. Okay, yes, that should be the case. So why isn't it? I think another thing, and maybe this is related, so maybe we should do this first. When TitanBar, when we're looking at this little window, we don't see the value for commendation. That's because we don't have a default value, presumably. It hasn't been loaded yet. So we need to default to it's not being shown if we don't have a value there. Let's take a look at what that would look like. In the wallet window, the save button is somewhere. This is in this control. And so we want to find a drop down somewhere. This box, that'll do it. Probably. No, we're not the list box. Where is the save button? Okay, button save is here. W control. It's all here. That is here. And what other things are in there? Probably the label there. Okay. Drop down. There we go. Show me more about this. Wallet window, drop down window. Sure. Really? That's it. Interesting. Okay, so it is the wallet drop down here. I think. Is it? No. I guess that's the only drop down we have. Okay. Where do we populate this thing? They're doing something weird with that drop down window. I'm not sure what that's doing yet. Okay. We are iterating through. There we go. So we're adding these items to the WIDD, which means we're going to need to set the selection of that. There we go. So the current label mouse click. If this is a right mouse button, then we're setting the selection to where. So this needs to be this. The where value or 3, because 3 is nowhere. So if we go ahead and load this up and come on into commendation, we can see it defaults to don't show. That's fantastic. Now if we hit save, even on don't show, it doesn't quite work yet. That's okay. We're going to come on in to line 232 and start from there. We're in the save button, save.click, 232. Settings this, okay. couldn't find the settings for that. Yes. Let's go into show hide currency. The first thing show hide currency does is do an import control. And so does show hide currency look at the W value though? Key show equals not show. It sets the settings key W. Okay. Why are we doing that then? Did I save everything? I did. Okay, coming on into currencies, commendation. We're going to go ahead and show it here. A different problem. Yes. Progress is being made. Okay. Settings.currency. Attempt to index field currency a nil value. I don't think that's true. It sure is if I spelled it wrong though. Why would I do that to myself? Currencies. Settings.currencies. That's why I try not to type anything ever. Alright, so we got a different error. Yay! Functions menu. Awesome. Let's come on in. Functions menu line 12. We're doing we called import control. Okay. Of key. Alright, let's come on in there. Trying to import control. No, just import control. And concatenated in value there. So we're going to get money and wallet. That is true. Awesome. And the next one we should get is commendation. So we're in there. Awesome. And we are in functions menu. At least I'm assuming that's functions menu. And I just saw that that file wasn't saved. I'm not sure what was going on there. So we'll do it one more time to get a fresh line number. Okay, functions 12. Control table. So we're expecting import control has worked. So let's come on in to make wallet control and just make sure that we see ourselves in here. Okay, import control was hit, but make wallet control was not. What's up with that? Let's see if our type value equals number was in fact a poor choice for this. Okay, it is in fact a number. Awesome. So we should be in here. So settings currency value to true. Okay. Initialize control settings. Oh, interesting. No, we're setting where a value. Hang on. What does initialize control settings do to that where? It's going to initialize it default. Yep. Okay. Okay. I see what's happening. We need to initialize those values, but we need to preserve the where value because we're going to use that for everything else. So we need to preserve local where equals this, initialize that, and then where equals where. Do we check to see if this actually does, if this is necessary? If it's nil, if everything's nil, do it. And then we load those things into, yeah, that's fine, probably. Okay, so, initialize settings for this currency if necessary. Note, we need to preserve where of value, because if this is previously unloaded, no, I think we need to load all of them. Oh yeah. If the settings don't already exist, where will default to 3 and the following blocks will be skipped, meaning the control never loads. Okay, so that was what we just saw. So we're going to save off the local where, initialize control settings, and restore the where. And assuming it was 1 or 2, or sorry, 1 or not 3, then we will do some stuff. Let's give that a try. Okay, so we're going to come on in to the wallet window, open up commendations, put that on the TitanBar, save. Oh yes, we have commendations. Oh, that's exciting. Now, second question, can we put it onto a tooltip? Ooh, we can. Third question, is that the right number? let's go straight to Yule Festival token. See it in the tooltip first. 693, I think that is correct. Yes, it is. And then Yule Festival token on the TitanBar, 693. It's working! Oh, yes. Casper, what's up? All right. Don't know. Surprised you're not loafing on the couch. Yeah, that's true. He just came in. Maybe he's going to eat first and then loaf. Okay. So, let's undo some. Well, are we ready to undo these? Let's go ahead and unload and load. Cool. We can see commendations in the tooltip. We can see all tokens there. Basic functionality seems to be working, and that's really exciting because we're allowing for these arbitrary currencies. Let's take a look. Now, what we don't have is including the name of that currency in the save file as a sort of a helper value. Like, what is this? And I think that might still be worthwhile. So if we're in settings and we are initializing this, where were we handling that before? And why is there a red thing here? Oh, is that just showing me I've deleted stuff? Yeah, okay. That's just a git change. Okay, where are we handling update? Yeah, and what we're interested in is a description. Yeah. So what we want that to be is looking here. Yeah. We want to do something like this, but in default control settings, what we want to do is if, and we're going to look in the data file. So G wallet items, if G wallet items of image ID, then settings image equals something. Nope, but we need that to be key. So key, then settings key description equals, and we're going to go back to that wallet items, and we're going to be looking at, oh, I didn't say the name. It needs to be somewhere else. It needs to be in the wallet items by category? No. Oh, I didn't actually serialize that because we didn't need it. Fair enough. Is that a problem? What if we did not do this the way I am talking about? What if anytime we get the value from the wallet, is there a wallet items besides that? I know there's a global variable where we have links to those wallet items. Add callback. Let's see where this happens. Sure, that'll be enough of a track. Currency added. Item equals this. Add currency callback is needed. Cool. Player currency. That's what we're looking for. So if player currency should have an entry at some point. Hey, a growther. Says, by the way, update 41 drops tomorrow and the patch notes are out. Ooh. Oh, that's 40.1. Alright, downtime. They say about 4 hours for maintenance to update release 41. And here are the release notes. Oh, a special note. The hard tech crafting event begins August 1st. Birding has arrived. A new hobby is available. There's a bird watcher's kit. Fascinating. I haven't looked into the birding at all. And I'm so glad that they're looking at using the collections panel for more things. I would really love for the wardrobe to transition into another tab on the collections panel where there's just like the equivalent of a wardrobe over here. And it just, a list of the available cosmetics and do you have them or not. And, for those people who have bought capacity in their wardrobe, for those people who care about that, you could have a thing where you can only have so many of those acquired or something. But yeah, that would be my ideal, is the wardrobe gets kind of retired in favor of a collections panel of cosmetics, and that way you can't accidentally have the same looking thing in your wardrobe multiple times, which is totally a thing that you can do now. These robes that I'm wearing here, Robe of the Learned Stag, you can get those into your wardrobe 5 different times if you are careless. And that's just, that's unfortunate. There are birding deeds, says Little Redhead, so that would be a time for an update to the deed tracker. Nice, Lore Master update. Monster Play Questing and Reward Track. PvMP! Now, I actually only care about minstrel stuff, so I'm going to scroll past all this Lore Master awesome changes. Nope. Okay, nothing important. LOTRO store. The ability to unlock a 4th profession slot is now available in the LOTRO store. That actually excites me about as much as anything on this. I'm going to copy that off and... Sweet Baby says, RIP Lore Master, how will the Lore Master changes affect PvP? I don't know. I've never really seriously played a Lore Master. So I couldn't tell you how well they fare in PvMP or how much is it going to change. Agatha says there's also new 4 profession tool recipes also. On Bulroar, there were minimum level 90 tools. Interesting. Yeah, Sweet Baby Ray, I do not know if you're going to die in a fire. Although Lore Masters typically cause fire, so maybe everyone will die in a fire. Alright, Combat of Monsters. Yeah, there's a whole section up here on Lore Masters, and I don't have the understanding to be able to parse what's going to happen there. So I couldn't tell you how that does stuff. Crafting and hobbies. New metalsmith recipes have been added to the Umbar tier. Create the following multi-tools. Really? That's unfortunate, because we won't have that on Treebeard for quite some time. Especially if they're minimum level 90. Like, why did they not add that to the Western net? Interesting. Alright. Quest deeds and adventure areas. Stuff and things. So much. Instances and skirmishes. Missions and delving. There's a lot of information on here. Why are these marked with Deutsch, but the text is in English? Fascinating. Miscellaneous. Game Launcher will fix some stuff. Cool. Well, there's a lot going on in that update. Thanks, Agatha, for pointing out that those were up. Okay, so we have player currency things. When is player currency populated? It starts off empty, yes. And we are looking just for player currency. Add currency callback if needed, sure. Load player wallet, yes. So what I think we need is a function that whenever you set a player currency object, we update that entry in the settings if necessary. So add currency to player currencies or something. I don't know. Maybe a function's overkill since we're only doing this like a couple times. So here, add currency, we're doing it there. Here, load player wallet. We're only doing it in those 2 places. Let us be uncautious. Settings.currencies key dot whatever I said this was a while back. Description. Dot descriptions equals wallet item dot get name with a semicolon. So, does that seem like a terrible idea? On the face of it, no. Let's see how... Aha! On the face of it, yes. But that means load player wallet is happening sooner than I thought it was. And we can take advantage of that. Really? Visual Studio Code, why do you sometimes do something weird? Okay. So, load player wallet happens here. Oh, right after we set that table. And before a bunch of other stuff. But it does happen during loading. So we can say in settings, we can expect, oh, not that one, sorry. We can expect this function here, initialize control settings, to be called after that, which means this should be able to say settings key dot description equals, and then whatever these things were. Oh, yeah, this right here. So settings key dot description equals, and then we're going to go ahead and reference player currency of the same thing. Let's give that a try and see if that behaves a little bit better. It does not. This is in load settings, so I guess load settings is getting processed first. Yeah, we can see load settings there. Where is load wallet happening? Is that what it was called? Load player wallet. That happens in FRM main. FRM main happens down here. Is it crazy to just make it go sooner? Okay, player currency doesn't exist here. Fair enough. But if player currency doesn't exist here, then at the point that we're loading the wallet, we could update any entries. So if settings of key, then settings key dot description equals that and update in settings. What does that look like? It does not. Okay, I think I'm spinning my wheels here. And I don't think it's as useful or as necessary right now. So, to do update make sure each currency has description field with the currency name. Okay, let's stop worrying about that for right now, and let's keep making progress. And what's going on here? Okay, so in wallet window, let's come on back and actually commit some of these changes. On wallet window, line 229, vault window, really? Wallet window. There we go. We saw that setting this was not necessary because it's getting set in the show hide currency function. Actually, alright, if the selection is 1 and not that, then show. Otherwise, if show, then hide it. Otherwise, we do nothing. I think that's reasonable. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and delete that. And default to 3 on loading it. Okay, that's good. Delete that. Cool. All right, functions, line 391. Add currency callback if needed. Yeah, that's not coming together. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that. Get rid of that. To do, get rid of this. Get rid of that. The default currency. Yep. All of that's great. Okay, so what have we done? We have moved currencies table into settings. So this is part of that. This is a part of that. Yes. This is necessary. Yep. And yep. Okay. So on the plus side, we have a functioning system whereby we can go ahead and add arbitrary things here. On the downside, I can't use my old save file, I'm guessing, but I would like to. Maybe I can actually, hang on. So I'm going to go ahead and stop locking that file, delete that, copy this. Okay. So currencies, what we would like that to be is that thing I just deleted. So if I make that change here, yes, they're all back. Okay, let's go ahead and save that off then. No, we were going to go ahead and move a couple things. So let's go ahead and move those couple of things. Let's get Yule Festival tokens in the tooltip, and let's get, well, let's say Destiny points in the tooltip. Great. We're going to unload that, and then we're going to make a new save here. 240730. Everything on every whole currency on bar with new settings system. Cool. And with that, we're going to go ahead and copy this back. Now, going forward, these are going to be in pairs. You had something here, those settings in the file initialize together. And if you remove something here, and let's go ahead and do that. Let's undo spring leaves. We're going to go ahead and say don't show, unload, load. Spring leaves is not there. Let's put spring leaves on the tooltip. Very good. Let's put spring leaves, well, yeah, we'll keep it there. Unload, load. Ooh. Okay, that's an edge case. Or I hit save incorrectly. Unload, load. Okay, things that are in, we're not saving correctly, things going into there. But if I put spring leaf onto the main bar, unload, load, it is saving there. So, excellent. We found an edge case that's not currently working. We're going to go ahead and put that there. Cool. Unload, load. It is... Why did that work? Okay, spring leaf, don't show, unload, load. We're not doing something, because the tooltip status of these things is not saving properly. I'm guessing, however, if I put spring leaf on the toolbar, unload, load, that's fine. If I put spring leaf off the toolbar, that's fine. If I put spring leaf in the tooltip, however, that did not work. Okay, so what we want to do is find the value for the spring leaf. In this case, we're going to come into wallet items. Sure, spring leaf. And we know this is the value that we're looking for in that save file. And we want to go ahead and take a look. Why is it not there? What's going on with that? Okay, spring leaf is different. Let's find load player wallet and figure out what's going on, because I don't like this. So if cur item get name equals spring leaf. Yep. And then *bind.shell.writeLine spring leaf. And we're going to go ahead and concatenate with that with cur item get image. Okay. We see it here. But are these item IDs or are these image IDs? What a great question. However, this is the right number. This is the image ID. So what was my problem? My problem was we have w equals 1. Okay, so we at least found the thing. That really is the important thing. So we have the thing, and its w equals 1. So it is on the bar, and its v is true, it is visible. Okay, let's play with this. So let's go ahead and say spring leaf is don't show. Okay, we have w equals 3, yes, and v equals false. Perfect. Let's go ahead and put spring leaf in the tooltip, which it currently is, and we're going to go ahead and unload that and come take a look. We get a v equals false. That is incorrect, and a w equals 3, so that entry did not update. Okay. Let's go the other way. We saw spring leaf was from don't show. Maybe I can just search for this. So v is true, w is 1, cool. Coming on in here from on the bar, spring leaf going to tooltip. W equals 2, awesome, but v equals false. No. I think that's incorrect. Okay, so let's go to wallet window and see what's going on here. Wallet window. So, save click. What should show be if it's in a tooltip? I think currently we have Yule. Okay, Yule. Yule's W is 2, yep. And it's visible as false. That's fine. Okay. Destiny? No, not Destiny. Oh yeah, Destiny. W is 2, visible is true. Apparently in the patch notes, Little Red Head has seen Corsair raiders in Barad no longer eat using weapons as utensils. William says, I like those funny lines in the patch notes. If I recall correctly, I've read once, the rocks in region XYZ were told to behave more rocky and should now be grounded. I like it. Okay, so what's going on with where versus show? Okay, where is being set explicitly to here. However, okay, let's go to the wallet tooltip. And we're still doing a menu item here. Okay. If number of the where is 2, yeah, that's fine. Let's look at, do we care about show? We don't, or we shouldn't. So something about show here. What did we just do? How did we break things? Where are we? Wallet window. Settings W. We were changing settings W. If we end up in show hide currency, we change settings W. But okay, so the new where is this. The old where was that. Local where local is where changed equals old where equals where. W cur. Does it make sense to call show hide currency? It assumes it's inverting show. But why? Why are we using show and where? Okay. Okay, what's up with where? Where is fine. Show is getting set to weird things. I think show is only supposed to be set to true. I think show needs to not be getting set to things. We need to say, okay, based off of what where is, and let's go ahead and check this. Do not like this, MIM. Here's the thing. This code definitely feels like it is assuming whatever the current state is correct, and that's fine if that is always true. Oh, turns out trolls will attack a fence in Valheim. No, he's stuck now. You should just shoot him. Oh, he's not stuck. Little Redhead has a troll in Valheim. Telezian says, curious if anyone will know if current plugins will work on the legendary servers, or will there need to be work on them first? To my knowledge, there's no Lua API change coming in the Update 41 release. So I would expect any plugin that currently works to work just as well as it did. But content-specific ones like Deed Tracker are not going to be updated on day one to have the new birding deeds, for instance. But I don't know of any reason why plugins would not work on the legendary servers, the new ones. For instance, they already work on Treebeard, which is a legendary server. Okay. Turbine.shell.writeLine. I want to know more about the state of things as we're coming on in here. So I want to know the old where, which is where of wcur. I want to know the new where, which is the cell index. And I want to know the current show. Let's tell me more about what's going on here. So, if I go ahead and come on in here, Spring Leaf is there. Awesome. Let us set it to on there. So, old where was 2, new where was 1, old show was false. And let's go ahead and say turbine.shell.writeLine new show. New show is going to be a dumping of show. Cool. All right, so Springleaves is up here. We're going to go ahead and say it is don't show. Okay, so old where was 1, new where was 3, old show was true, new show is false. That works great. Love it. Okay, Spring Leaf, if we go ahead and say in tooltip, old is 3, new is 2, old show is false, new show is false. But it is there. Okay, so how are we adding stuff to that tooltip? Maybe there's something I'm missing there. Let's go check that out. Show wallet tooltip. We are going to go ahead and refresh that list box of things. Cool. We are going to go ahead and clear the existing things. We're going to go through menu item. what's up with menu item? Menu item equals, this is a way that we're still have that static listing, but Springleaf is in there. And we're looking for the where. If it's not money, and the where is equal to 2, then we're going to grab that image number, and then we're going to get the quantity. Okay? And then the rest of this is if the number of where is 2, then do stuff. I'm going to double check that data file and see if it is item ID instead of image ID. Because if it could be image ID, that would be really nice, because I would love to be able to just look something up in that data file right now. Did you kill the troll? You did not. Well, hopefully our house is still intact later.
I just ran.
Alright, so, auto-generated by this. This is the non-language Lua. That is the item ID, okay. What if it was the icon? Duplicate index. Oh no! I didn't think about that. There are item ID is not unique. Have I destroyed everything? I'll have to think about that. To do. Item ID is not unique. Sorry. Image ID is not unique for wallet items. It probably makes the most sense to transition from image ID to item ID and use the name as a lookup into the language specific table. Okay, so we're going to need to produce some files there. However, it doesn't really explain this other thing, which is to say, what's up with that Springleaf? Okay, let's come back in here, and in the wallet tooltip, Clarence says, was distracted. What's the problem? The problem is, and I don't know why I didn't think about this before, but multiple wallet items can use the same image. And I don't know why I didn't realize that before. I was really hoping we could avoid needing all of the localization data for everything in the wallet and just streamline things. But if we come look at this, I've replaced the item ID with the image ID, and we can see there's a lot of duplicates. Now, some of these are in the old category, so I mean, I would like it to work. But some of these, like the Grand Feast of whatever, there's just a lot of duplicate entries over here. The Tarnished Ring of the Pelennor Fields. No. Which one? Sorry, the Pristine Bracelet of Pelennor Fields shares an image ID with the Officer's Bracelet of the Pelennor Fields. So I don't know why. I had the mental map that an item ID was the image ID was going to be unique. And obviously that's not the case. There's a lot of overlaps. Fewer with newer things, but definitely with older things, there's a lot of overlaps. So we're going to have a lookup table that takes the localized name of the item in your wallet and translate that into the item ID. And then we'll just have to deal with items that TitanBar doesn't know about in some other fashion. I think that's doable. But I think we're going to have like a meta entry in the save file that says this needs to be updated, and once TitanBar is updated, we can change from the image ID to the item ID, and it'll be fine. Let's cross our fingers. Anyway, so if menu item I equals this, then checking to see if spring leaf should be in tooltip. And if menu item I equals that, then yes, and so why do we say spring leaf no? Spring leaf in tooltip save. Spring leaf yes. Okay. Spring leaf is back to no. But the where is set to 3. Why is the where set to 3? Wallet window, where is, okay, if wcur equals that, no, I don't even need that, turbine.shell.writeLine, setting where this to cell index. And that updates setting key. It should. Oh, but if we don't call showHide currency, okay. We're not calling showHide currency, and we should be. I'm not actually sure why we're not yet, but we're going to find that out. Okay, so coming on in here, set spring leaf to in tooltip, setting where to that, but we can see that we didn't get into showHide currency. And we need that in order to get the settings W set correctly. I mean, it should be set somewhere else, right? I mean, we serialize things back out. Save settings. Settings dot save control settings for currencies. settings.w equals that. Like, yeah. Turbine.shell line if key equals that. If key equals that, then and saving where spring leaf to settings dot spring leaf dot w Sure. Show me that that's happening. Spring leaf, don't show, in tooltip, save. Okay, unload. Whoa, where does save control settings? Okay, function, no. Here, what is going on? When does save settings get called and why is it not happening? Apparently I'm looking for save settings true. This is in background color, sure. This is in reset settings, okay. This is background color, but everything else is false? Okay, what's going on with showhide currency? Save settings false. Because they don't want to go through and pull everything, so they've done this, fine, okay. So if we're, so what's up with showhide currency? Yeah, Delirian says, could you add another value of the item to the icon ID, for instance, level? If you read the documentation correctly, only description, image, max quantity, name, quantity, small image, and IsAccount item are available. Right. You just thought if an image plus a small image might be enough to sort out the problems. Yeah, I don't see a situation where reliably, if the large image ID is the same, that the small image ID won't also. I could totally believe that they have some that don't correlate, but most of them I would expect. Without testing, I would expect large image is the same, then the small image will also be the same. It's okay. I think I can make it work. It's just disappointing to realize that I had such a blind sight in my approach to the problem, or about such a lack of foresight. That's the disappointing part. I think I'll be able to make it work, but boy, there's some effort in there that was more than I needed to do. Oh well. Okay. So if I think I've discovered what the problem is, and I don't like it. If the thing already had visibility equals to true, then if we set this spring leaf to be on the tooltip, then we can see showhide currency gets called. And if we unload this and load this, we can see it's still there. But if spring leaf was previously not visible, and we call this, wait, Previously not visible. Oh, that's funny. We're not calling show hide currency. Okay, so show hide currency, the point of this is to put the currency control on or off of the bar. So the only problem is that this setting man, every time you change a setting, it's going to write that out. That's weird. Okay, so the specific problem here is that show hide currency is getting called, and the thing that we deleted was the updating of settings here. This. Specifically that. Because of the case when that didn't exist. But, that's fine. If settings.wcur, then what happens if we do that? Well, that doesn't work. Yeah, I had a typo. Okay, so Springleaf is there. Let's go ahead and say don't show. Springleaf is not there. Springleaf, let's go ahead and say it's in the tooltip. It is in the tooltip. We unload, we come back in. It's still in the tooltip. And Springleaf, if we move it there from there onto the TitanBar, everything is good. It's there. Yes. From there, we can put it back into the tooltip. Yes. Yep. From there, Springleaf, we can go don't show. It's not there. Still not there. Okay. Yes. So this, if we already have a settings object for this currency, update the .w value. Otherwise, that will happen in the show if called. This ensures that the value is updated when moving from a not bar to other not bar configuration. Okay, so cool. Deleting that was, in fact, the wrong thing because the logic change was subtly off. That being said, let's go ahead and start getting rid of some of these log statements. Okay, those don't need anymore. Great. Auto-generated, we're going to get rid of that. Okay, that's fine. That was a right line, other right line. Okay. Fixed bug introduced in previous change. And that's going to be settings show hide currency only called when control is moving from bar to off bar or vice versa. Not if control is moving from tooltip to, what is it called here? To don't show. Don't show. Cool. Wait. How did I miss that? Oh well. If I were being really strict, I would roll back the previous commit so they could all be together. It's fine. So it says, I do an icon matching in my festival mount list, but although it works for most mounts, horse and pony should be considered the same but are different IDs. Icon matching works for nearly all mounts, but not for a few of them. Yeah. And I don't blame them for reusing icons for things that are functionally pretty similar. I just wish I had thought of it before I structured some design choices around it. Okay, so fixed that bug that we introduced here. Things seem to be working pretty well now. So how is currencies being used? Convert currencies into a setting structure that's created if missing during load. Then start updating the bullet entries. Awesome. Done. How is currencies being used? We iterate through things. Okay, so are we comfortable with only setting things for loaded values? Yeah, I think so. Control, yep. Iterate through all currencies and set up a TitanBar entries. Yep. Okay. Initialization, done. Okay, initialize control settings. We can do this as currencies being loaded. Awesome, we did change that. Currency name to key, we've actually killed that. Save control settings. Okay. Reset settings. Reach currency in character settings. Call reset can. Okay. Now, this doesn't actually to do. Handle currencies in save file in settings that are not currently in currencies. Yeah, that's probably fine. Okay. Replace control. Can use currencies with list of loaded controls. Yeah. And we do that. Awesome. So we've done a lot, and this is important because I think we are getting really close to having a user interface that where this window can match the wallet window, and then we can go ahead and add and remove things. Now, menu item is still a thing that exists. So next up, get rid of menu item. And what would that look like? Okay, so we've made really good progress today. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up after I look up what menu item is and what are the consequences of getting rid of it. So now's a great time if you have any last minute questions, comments, concerns. Now's a great time to get them into chat. Otherwise, we'll pick them up next week. Okay, so what is menu item? What's going on here? Nope, don't want that one. We create a thing called menu item, and we populate it with stuff. So this is definitely a thing that we need to delete. Tellurian asks, will I start on Mordor? Of the two of them, I think Mordor is the European-based 64-bit server, so I'm probably going to create a character on Mordor. I don't think I'll be playing it very often, but getting a character from level 1 to 50 isn't very difficult, so I might do at least that much. But I don't think I'll be playing on there very often. Treebeard is sort of my home server, and while I'm vaguely interested in seeing the large fights against wraiths on Mordor, I don't think it really slots into the gameplay that I'm looking for right now. So yeah, I'll probably jump on there and create a character at least, and maybe even level it up a little bit though. So I guess we'll see, and then I'll be able to test if there are any plugin issues with the new legendary servers. Okay, so yes, menu item has a hard-coded list of things, so we definitely need to get rid of it. And it's a menu item that is dependent on whether you are Free Peoples or if you are Monster Play. And it looks like in Monster Play, they only wanted commendations and LOTRO points showing. Cool. I don't know why there's a separate thing called currencies that are not good for Monster Play. In fact, currency is not used in Monster Play. What is up with that? Okay, so if you have made these things visible, no. That is so weird. I don't think that does what we think it would do. It's meant to temporarily suppress things, but Monster Play isn't like Session Play. You have a different name for your character, right? Like, these are characters, they just happen to be orcs or spiders or wargs or whatever. So you would not be sharing... You would not be sharing a save file, so... What's going on here? They're squelching certain things, like durability, equipment, vault, shared storage, and reputation. Cool, but why? Because you just wouldn't have let them turn it on in the first place. Okay, that is weird. I don't like it. I think I might need to hop onto Monster Play to see how TitanBar behaves in Monster Play, but I don't like that. Okay. So menu item. If we find all references, don't name things the same thing as a turbine class. Note to self. Tellurian says, but they have titles. Are the titles account wide? Do you earn them across everyone? I mean, that could be. I mean, my main concern is deeds, and my secondary concern is quests. So if there's deeds for slaying these things, then maybe. But the problem is, my completionist character is on Treebeard. And I do... When they brought out Treebeard, they brought out landscape difficulty on Treebeard. And they didn't say this. But I wondered if landscape difficulty was going to be exclusive to Treebeard, Or, as it turns out, is it going to be brought to standard servers and the corresponding titles being brought to standard servers? Now, the slow progression of Treebeard still strongly appeals to me, which is why that's my home server, why that's where I'm playing most with my completionist character. But if they eventually bring that mechanic to live servers, or I should say standard servers, if standard servers eventually get the Wraith mechanic, if it plays well on legendary servers, if they decide from testing, and I assume this is sort of like landscape difficulty, they brought landscape difficulty to Treebeard, and they got a lot of experience of people using it and where are issues with it, and eventually they brought it to standard servers. And I'm musing to myself, is that the same thing? Are they going to bring the Wraiths eventually to standard servers, or is this definitely a legendary exclusive? If it's eventually going to be on a standard server, well, so is my completionist character from Treebeard, because eventually Treebeard will finish, we'll have to transfer off, and then I'd be able to get that experience. If it's only ever going to be on these servers, then my completionist character will never be able to jointly get these titles on Mordor or Angmar. I'm okay with that. So I think I either destiny for the Wraith encounters on Mordor and Angmar. They go to standard servers, they don't. That fits in with my completionist character who is not on Mordor or Angmar. Sweet Baby has made a comment on PvMP, but I have so little experience, I'm not even sure I understand what you're saying there, but I believe you believe it. Therian says multiplayers do not have a shared vault and wardrobe. Yeah, but you wouldn't suppress their ability to turn it on. You just wouldn't let them, or you wouldn't suppress the fact that they have turned it on. You just wouldn't let them turn it on. So the design there is bonkers to me. The titles for Therian says the titles for defeating the ring wraiths are account wide. At least that's what the tests said during the deed said during tests. Sweet Baby says, is Orion the PvP person? Yes. As Little Redhead points out into chat, Orion definitely is the PvP person. Now, just in case there was any confusion, I do not work for SSG. I am just a fan of both Lord of the Rings Online and writing plugins, so I have no insider knowledge or special knowledge about Lord of the Rings Online, and I especially have no knowledge on PvMP. My domains... my strengths are with hobbits, with minstrels, and with plugins, and anywhere they intersect, I have a good chance of knowing something. Okay. Yeah. So when you are playing when you're playing monster play, TitanBar is trying to suppress durability, equipment, vault, shared storage, and reputation elements from showing up on the bar. But why are they letting you turn those elements on? That's what I'm confused about. So I need to go look at that and understand, because I think currency is not used in monster play is just stupid and doesn't need to be here. So we're going to see. I'm almost certain that currency is not used in monsters play. Used to be named something less descriptive, and so that's a thing. Okay, so menu item. This is being used by that tooltip. We're iterating through and figuring out what's going here, but it's not. It might actually be the list of things populating here as well, because we start with money, combination, destiny points. Darn it. I do not need all those windows. Money, combination, destiny points, and we end with gift giver's brand and hittable tokens. So this is the thing that sorts out what goes into this wallet window. And so you'll only be able to turn on combinations and LOTRO points on monster play under this system. And so menu item is populated here in main. In wallet window, it's used for refreshing the list box. And in wallet tooltip, it's used to determine which things from here should show up in the tooltip. And I don't actually like that. I think you should iterate through all the currencies that are active and see which one of them have a where of to. So let's come on back to the to-do. Wallet tooltip, change to iterating through each entry in settings.currencies. If the where is to, then do stuff. Wallet window will be taken care of with the new window design. Because at that point, we're not looking at menu item for what to put in there. We're just looking at what's in your wallet. Okay. Cool. So maybe says PVMP builds character. I can believe it. Like I said, I've got a Warg and a Spider somewhere, probably over on Brandywine, but I have not played actively on Brandywine on the Free People side in quite some time. So, okay, we have a plan for next time. At the very least, we're going to get rid of the uses of menu item in the wallet tooltips, and we want to explore why this exists and why FRM main uses it, tries to suppress items on the bar when they shouldn't be addable in the first place. And if the player did add them, what's the harm? Question mark. Yeah, that's possibly going to be next time. We'll be popping into Monster Play to kind of look at how the code is executing. Because one thing I would expect is when you right-click up here, you get a list of things, and I would expect the stuff that shouldn't be there for PvMP Monster Play mode just wouldn't be loaded. And I guess that's a question is, where is the core TV menu populated, and are the items there controlled by player align? Question mark. Because I would expect it to be in menu. Wallet, backpack infos, player infos. Main menu, TitanBar menu, wallet, yeah. So that's in menu.lua. Menu.lua. Yeah, that's where we need to be checking player align if we're not already. Yeah. So we're going to dig into that more. Delirian says, I wonder if shared storage and stuff is deactivated, so a function call to get shared storage, which will get an empty list, won't overwrite the actual data in there. But the problem is, this isn't session play, this is monster play. And I assumed that monster play's plugin data files were saved according to the name of your monster character, not according to the name of any of your free people's characters. So there is no data. Oh, you're right though. Get shared storage is stored at the account level or server level, not at the character level. Okay. Tillian thinks it may be to prevent overwriting server level data like shared storage. Surely there's a better way to protect against this if this is the reason, question mark? Yeah, Tillian says, I get your point. It should not even be listed to be activated. Yeah, that's the thing. And if it is activated, like, we're just suppressing it being shown. We're not, there needs to be something in the code path for shared storage that doesn't let you overwrite your shared storage information with an empty result. Or let them see make it read only. Like, yeah, if you're on a monster play and you want to see what you have in your free people shared storage, more power to you. Why on earth would we want to say no to that? Like, it's not immediately useful, but if you're in monster play and you're like, oh man, I wonder how my Edelharn tokens are, yeah, sure, pop into shared storage. What do I care? So I think there's a reason to let you look at the shared storage stuff if you really want to. Just like something like alt inventory, or deed tracker. Deed tracker will let you in session play look at the deed completion of your other characters. It might even work in monster play. I've never tried that I can remember. But deed tracker goes into kind of a read-only mode. Like, it doesn't save any of your stuff. It doesn't try to add stuff to settings. It just lets you look at the server-specific settings. Yeah. Jillian says perhaps that was left there since SSG might decide monsters to have a vault or a shared storage. Yeah, the thing is, I'm suspicious, though I haven't checked this. I'm suspicious that there is code here that dates back to very early in the development process for TitanBar, and that would have been very early in the life of LOTRO, and so there were probably choices made back then that were overcome by events a decade ago. And we're just there now. So it's like, well, it's always been this way. Why would we change it? So yeah, it might be time to change it. But like I said, I'm going to dig into monster plays, how TitanBar works with monster play a little bit more, either in between this week and next week, or on stream next week, because there's stuff here that is currency specific that needs to go away, and I just don't want to negatively impact people who are using this for monster play. But I do want to get rid of currencies not used in monster play, because that variable annoys me. So we're gonna circle back around to that next week, or possibly in between. The big one, that image ID needing to be swapped out for item ID, that's going to require some thinking. So the good news is we don't need to solve it this week, but we do need to solve it someday. So I'll be thinking about that. Okay, well, I think I've run out of things I want to talk about. I think we're about 3 hours into my 2-hour stream. So, Tillian, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. Sweet Baby, thanks for joining us. Sorry I don't know more about PVMP, but maybe someday I'll be getting into that. Edgar Arthur, it was great to see you drop in, as well as everyone else who was here. So, with that is everything we're going to cover today. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of LOTRO plugins. I do hope to see you all here next week, and until then, keep plugging along. All right, bye-bye now.